We are now into the women's Omnium points race. This is the final race of this series, and right now we have got a very, very interesting competition because Annette Edmondson of Australia leads with 178 points, Laura Trott 164, Jolien Dora with 160, Kirsten Wild with 156. So maybe 4 riders now in this contest. And in terms of how this racing goes, let me just remind you, this is the points race, and that means, and there's the rundown of the next group of riders, it means that basically you now have a situation where every single point you score in the points race accumulates, and they all add up to then be your overall points tally at the end of the race. So Annette Edmondson has to do some defending, but she also has to score some points along the way because Kirsten Wild right now is 22 points behind Annette Edmondson, but Laura Trott is 14 points behind, and Jolien Dora is 18 points behind. So take a lap, you get 20 points, 5, 3, 2 and 1 along the way as well at the intermediate sprints, and there are 10 of those. So this race is not over yet. We have the benefit of Carly McCulloch being here. She's in the Australian camp, of course. Any conversations with Nettie over the last 24 hours?
Look, you know, it's funny because Nettie wasn't even supposed to start the Omnium here. Unfortunately, one of the other girls who was going to start, Bella King, is back home a little bit overtrained and unfortunately didn't make the team. So Nettie actually was preparing to have a break from the Omnium this year. So to see her in the lead coming into the final event, I think she's a little bit shocked. And I think she's really looking forward to giving it a good red-hot crack. So she's never won this event. She's always been the bridesmaid or bronze medal. So if she can pull this off this year, I'm sure it'll be something that, you know, a dream come true for her.
Well, this could be her moment. She has chosen to wear the helmet with the clear lenses. On the other hand, Laura Trott is race face time. She's chosen to put her usual black helmet on with the complete mirrored visor. No one can see her eyes at all. And she's going to tuck in on the wheel here of Annette Edmondson, and she's going to try and beat her. This is a really, really interesting contest, isn't it?
It is, and we can see the top 4 there just leading it out. It's going to be really interesting, and this is anybody's race still right now. So, you know, Kirsten Wild could still come away with this as well. So they're all going to be marking each other, I would expect. And, you know, Laura Trott is the defending Olympic champion. Definitely can't forget about her. And Jolien Dora, she actually spent a bit of time with her in Belgium last couple of years ago, and she's certainly a talent and one to watch out for as well.
Well, she's such a talented bike rider on the road and on the track, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right. She's quite a good sprinter on the road. She's given Kirsten Wild a good run for her money on the road, because I know that Kirsten's actually very strong on the road. So, you know, the Dutchies and the Belgians have got a good little contest going there.
Certainly have. And also, what's interesting in here is that in terms of road cycling, you have got Annette Edmondson and Jolien Dora, who are both Wiggle Honda riders, and you've got Laura Trott, who was a Wiggle Honda rider.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I don't think that there's going to be any collusion going on, because I know that Jolien and Nettie both want the title as much as each other. So it'll be interesting to see how that does actually play out. Maybe they will work together, I don't know.
If the judges see any of that going on, there'll be conversations happening.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
No, well, probably not. Laurie Berton is now towards the front, wearing number 23, a French Omnium champion, 23 years of age. Joining up now with a rider from Hong Kong, China at the front. 3 riders are now going clear. And it's Tian Wan of China in the red and yellow. The rider from Hong Kong, China is Jiao Chao Wan, who is now slightly off the front, but the race coming back together. And Amelie Dith Eriksson is the Danish rider who closes the gap that time. Caroline Ryan goes down to the bottom of the track, 15th overall at this moment. She has got 74 points compared to Annette Edmondson's 178, which is a massive total in this Omnium competition. Gaviria yesterday won the men's contest with just over 200 points.
Yeah, look, I think it's really fantastic that we've got the points race to finish off the Omnium, because it does make it a lot more interesting, and you're going to see people being very aggressive in the race rather than maybe sort of conserving themselves when it was one of the early events in the Omnium last season. So this makes it a lot more interesting, and it makes it, these top 4 girls are going to have to chase down breaks, and they're going to have to make sure that they don't let each other go.
Well, sometimes changes to races are not a popular move. This one has been a very popular move because previously you had the 500-metre time trial and that was it, and you rode basically on the track on your own against someone on the other side of the track. Here you can see your opponents. You can see exactly what you're trying to beat, can't you?
Yeah, that's right. And, Nettie coming in knowing that she's only got a 14-point buffer to Laura, that's going to make her, maybe a little bit more nervous. She's going to have to make sure she concentrates a lot harder. So as we come up to the bell lap here,
Altering Trabaita then of Lithuania, who is twice a bronze medalist in the European Championships, going clear. And this is an important sprint. Who is going to score some points? Are we going to see one of the favourites try to take some points? Trabaita is going to take the 5 points. Anna Kanawa looked like she was in second place for Germany. Amelie de Eriksson, the twice junior world champion, in third, and Kirsten Wild opens her account with 1 as she now closes in on Jolien Dora with 1.57 compared to 1.60. So that is starting to look interesting. Yesterday we saw Viviani, the Italian rider, lose his place down to the bronze medal position, as we see sprint number 1 on the screen. And that gives you a good indication of how things are going. The rider going clear, Simona Frapporti of Italy. There's the points standing on the screen now. Ned Edmondson with 1.78, Laura Trott 1.64, Jolien Dora with 1.60, and Kirsten Wild with 1.57. Are you a little nervous about this race?
Look, I'm nervous for Nettie because I know how much that she would love to win this World Championship, and she struggled a little bit last night in the elimination, so the bunch races is probably where she's suffering a little bit in her condition. So I hope that she plays this race nice and smart and can keep on top.
Recovery in an Omnium is really critical, isn't it? You've got to be constantly thinking about how you recover, how long you've got to go to the next race, what food you're going to have, how much hydration you have in this arena, because at 28 degrees, you're constantly losing fluid. It's really tough, isn't it?
It's really tough, and we've got such a fantastic support group down in the Australian pits. We've got a Sonia who's always, at the side of the track with a drink bottle, in Birdie May and Davide. We've got recovery boots at home. As we see, the Cuban's going to take a lap here. The Italian's hanging on at the back there. This is
interesting now. The Cuban rider Marlies Mejias is about to take a lap on the field and did that very, very quickly. So Mejias now will move up. She'll get 20 points, and that's now dangerous because she's going to move herself closer to a medal. And Simona Frapporti of Italy also is moving up towards the positions as well. So look at that. Mejias has moved herself into 5th place overall, 1.48 compared to 1.57 of Kirsten Wild, and that was a little bit of a move that the favourites didn't want to let go.
Well, that's the problem also when the top 4 are sort of watching each other. They tend to forget about these other riders, and I think it was actually in Mexico World Cup, in the men's Omnium, I saw the leaders change so often in that last points race that I don't even think they could follow what was going on. So they're going to have to be really careful here as we come up to the bell lap. Kirsten Wild is coming around the outside. She looks very strong.
So look at this. Now the 4 riders who are at the top of this race are going for the points. Annette Edmondson trying to score points. Kirsten Wild on the top there, and Laura Trott going around the top of the track, hitting the line there, and it looks like it was Kirsten Wild who took 5 points, I think. Annette Edmondson scored 3, so that's good for her. And then it was a photograph between Laura Trott and Jolien Dora, and I think Jolien got the points, maybe. Yep, I think she did. So Laura Trott will get 1 point, so things shuffle around a little bit more.
Oh, it's very close.
How close is this? Look at the standings, will come up in a second. Kirsten Wild with 5 points, Annette Edmondson with 3, Dora with 2, and Laura Trott with 1. But the standings now are looking really tasty. tasty. 181 to Annette Edmondson, 165 to Laura Trott, and Kirsten Wild and Jolene Dora with 162.
That's just incredible. You know, they're going to have to really be careful here. As we see, Dahora is looking like she's in a good break here.
Well, this is the rider now from the Czech Republic who's going clear, Lucy Zaleska. A little bit of an advantage on the rest of the field, and Jolene Dora also in the breakaway. And a bit of a split starting to happen. Sarah Hammer didn't have a great race yesterday in the elimination. She was thumping her handlebars. 77 laps to go, and Sarah Hammer kicking on at the front. Annette Edmondson goes with Laura Trott. Trott now has a little look around to see what she wants to do, and she takes the sting out of the attack.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to be wanting to let too many more breakaways go away now that we've seen the Cuban just take that lap. So they've probably been told by their coaches standing down in the back straight to not let anything more go away.
Yeah, we always, if you watch as you go round the track, you'll suddenly see a big group of people all the way around this back straight, and that's all the coaches, and they always stand in the back straight as opposed to here on the finish line where all the judges are, and they give them lots of information, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They make sure that they tell them maybe how many points someone has.
Right on cue.
Yeah, right on cue. There you go. You can see the Irish coach pushing along the rider there, and that's just to give a bit of encouragement and maybe help them out a little bit with their tactics as well.
And as you pointed out there, he says to the rider, time to have a go, and right on cue, Caroline Ryan now is off the front of the race in the green. This rider has won a bronze medal in the World Championships previously in another discipline, but I know I was talking to her earlier on today. Her race food before the Omnium final rounds was chai seeds with raspberry and coconut milk.
Oh, that sounds delicious to me.
It was quite chocolatey.
Yeah.
I tasted a bit.
Sounds lovely. I noticed that the Canadians also staying in our hotel, and they've got a big bowl of porridge every morning on their table.
1 lap to go now until the next sprint, and Caroline Ryan is the rider who is off the front in the green, and coming across to her again, the Chinese rider and the Hong Kong China rider also trying to get some points. Laura Trott, all very close there as Olabaria went down to the bottom of the track, and Caroline Ryan will score the points. The rider from Hong Kong, China takes 3, and Wan Tian of China takes the 2. Sharakova takes 1. Laura Trott was unable to score the points she was seeking then. But Caroline Ryan, if this race calms down, will now take a lap. She's been working hard, but now the tempo looks to have increased because we see a rider going clear. Caroline Ryan, another 2 riders, then Olabaria is near the front of the peloton. Sprint number 3, Ryan took the points. She scores the maximum 5 points. You're getting the idea now of this points race. The standings remain unchanged. Annette Edmondson leads, 181. Laura Trott, 165. And the other 2 riders with 162. But don't forget, Mekias is not far behind on 148. You can join us on Twitter at Carly McCulloch. Some people were tweeting me a couple of nights ago because they couldn't find you on Twitter, and the reason is because she has a unique spelling of her name. K-A-A-R-L-E is Carly, as opposed to C-A-R-L-Y. So if you're looking for Carly McCulloch on Twitter, that's how you'll find her. At @McCrossan, UCI_track. 66 laps to go, and we have little groups of riders all over the place now. Caroline Ryan, 2 other riders with her, and then a group of 4, and then the peloton all together now. 6 rounds of racing puts real massive demands on your body, and we've talked a little bit about recovery, but recovery during a race is really tough for these women too.
Yeah, like during these races, you know, they can't obviously have drinks and any sort of food, so they have to make sure that they're well hydrated before they start. You know, we've got some good hydration with shots, and they're like hydrating tablets to make sure that you're not losing your electrolytes when you're racing, and they're really important, a part of making sure that you can sustain yourself through these races. It's very hot out there. Last night in the men's points race, we saw a few riders suffer from heat exhaustion at the end, so it's really important to make sure that you're well hydrated and also well fueled.
As an athlete yourself, do you know right, how much hydration you need, or is it the coaches and everyone who's keeping an eye on you too?
You can generally feel it for yourself. You know, when you're starting to get dehydrated, you go to the toilet less often and you get a dry mouth. So they're the sort of warning signs that you don't want to have. And otherwise, it's just making sure that you're getting your electrolytes in. Other than just drinking water is not necessarily the best thing. Having the electrolytes and the Gatorade really, really helps.
61 laps of racing remaining. The race situation, as you can see on the track, 5 riders clear, led by Caroline Ryan. Mekias is going again for Cuba. This rider is looking very, very dangerous to the rest of the field, and if she takes points and takes a lap, then she will move herself up into silver medal position. The breakaway group, Wan Tian, Caroline Ryan, also in the group for Hong Kong, China, Xiao Wan Diao, and joining up at the front, Marlies Mekias, and Woj Tyra is the rider in the red and white for Poland. And this is looking quite dangerous. If they could get the momentum going, although it looks like they've calmed down a little, then Mekias would move up to 169 points, and she would be ahead of Laura Trott by 4 points. So this is a really critical moment in this race, as Mekias attacks hard now at the front in the red and blue of Cuba, and now she is looking like there is a possibility of taking a lap, and Laura Trott, Jolien Dora, Annette Edmondson all looking at each other on the front of this group right now, because Mekias is absolutely sprinting to try and make contact before the next sprint. This is a fantastic move.
She looks really good, Mekias. If she can get this lap, this is going to make it really, really interesting. And this is why the coaches on the back straight are really important, because this changes the whole race. This is now where she comes in as a big player, and they're going to have to keep an eye on her.
Laura Trott concerned as she goes clear now, and Annette Edmondson is desperately trying to go with Laura Trott. Jolien Dora's there. Kirsten Wield now is sprinting flat out, and Dora now attacks as these 4 riders continue to try and go clear. Kirsten Wield is absolutely burying herself to try and get across to Laura Trott and Annette Edmondson and Jolien Dora. This is a stunning race, and now the peloton is going to all come back together under the momentum of Laura Trott, and I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see some more attacks as going down to the bottom of the track, the New Zealand rider Raquel Sheath, she looks around and casts her eye across at Kirsten Wield. She's studying aviation management. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
That's an interesting degree.
That is certainly very interesting.
So
good on her.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you still study, or? I
do, actually. I'm thinking of actually changing my degree to a Bachelor of Communications after my commentating gig with you here the other night. But I am actually I'm about halfway through a Bachelor of Human Movement in Education, so PE teaching, and it's taken me a while. I've been doing that for about 10 years, but the demands of travelling and racing have limited my ability to be able to finish that.
When you are travelling, as we see now a lull in the peloton, 52 laps of racing remaining. We're coming up to the next sprint lap. How do you spend your time? Is it music and books and videos and all that? Or?
Yeah, a lot of times is spent training when we're travelling and we're away on trips, and a lot of the other time is spent recovering. How hard we push ourselves in training can really affect us. And as we see the final lap here, Wield is coming around the outside.
Here we
Trott's
go.
on a wheel.
Who's going to take the points this time? Jolien Dora's legs look like they're pretty tired to me, as Laura Trott now sprints against Kirsten Wield and takes 5 points. So Laura Trott now moves up to 170. Kirsten Wield took 3, De Theriksen took 2, and Anna Kanawa took 1. So the standings shuffle around a little bit more. Laura Trott of Great Britain, Kirsten Wield of the Netherlands, Almeli De Theriksen of Denmark, and Anna Kanawa were the riders who took the points that time. 5 sprints have gone. This race is not over yet with 49 laps remaining. Here's the standings. Annette Edmondson still the leader. Laura Trott now 11 points behind. Kirsten Wield with 165. Jolien Dora's attention on the bronze medal is slipping away. The danger rider we've seen is Marlies Mekias with 149. So we will have a little look. Group of riders at the back suffering a little.
Yeah, I feel their pain. I'm sure that that's not a nice position to be in.
They need to get themselves back into the race. Sarah Hammer now at the front, Laurie Burton. Oliveria swings up the track. The tempo has been huge since the start of this race. Very, very fast indeed.
I think the quality of the women's endurance racing has really picked up over the last couple of years with the introduction of the Omnium, so it's really good to see. It's exciting racing, and I'm really enjoying this.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Good. It's a good race to watch, the points race, as we see the front of the peloton. We always keep an eye on where the front of the race is. The commissaires always pointing to show us where the front of the race is, so we know exactly what is actually going on.
Yeah, I remember actually going and watching my first track race and thinking, what is that man doing? Pointing at just some randoms.
Yeah, well, he's always pointed, so we know exactly where the front of the race is. There's a lot. You see the jury that we have a rundown for at the beginning of the race, and you think there's an awful lot of them. But you have to keep your eye on all different parts of the track, don't you?
Yeah, especially with an event like the Madison, you know, that can be quite confusing, even for the jury. So it's important to make sure that you've got a number of people there making sure that everything's going right and nothing goes missed. Especially when it comes to points.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to make sure they don't get anything wrong, because the World Championship can change your career totally. Just having a look here, the pace has gone out of the peloton because the attacks were so furious at the beginning. But this is a dangerous time now in this race, because the favourites are in there. The pace has gone right out, and that means that there is less room on the track to manoeuvre around.
And a perfect opportunity to attack the field as well when they're just right in around the top there. So you can see the Danish girl who's just keeping everybody down on the bottom of the track and controlling the pace.
So nice and compact on this 8-metre wide track. And going to the front now is the rider from Belarus, and that is Sharakova, 30 years of age, a world champion in the points race in 2011. Now the pressure goes on as we see Anna Knauer again in the mix. So is Kirsten Wild, Julian Dora looking to score some points. Laura Trott is on her wheel. Trott doesn't have the legs to go with that one. And this time, going across the line, it was Sharakova ahead of Kirsten Wild, who's riding really well here now. Anna Knauer with 2, Julian Dora with 1, which leaves the standings now looking ominous for the silver medal position. So confirmation, Tatiana Sharakova from Belarus took 5 points, Kirsten Wild took 3, Anna Knauer took 2, Julian Dora took 1, and that means that Kirsten Wild is looking dangerous for the silver medal now, and the stamina this rider has from the road is paying off. Annette Edmondson leads 181 to Laura Trott's 170. Kirsten Wild now with 168 and Julian Dora with 163, as Sarah Hammer now goes on the attack with 38 laps remaining. This rider has got such a palmarès, twice a world champion, and of course the Olympic silver medalist in London against Laura Trott. She's so powerful, isn't she? She's
so powerful, and unfortunately she's been battling a little bit from injury, I think, the last 6 months, so she seems to be a little bit out of condition, but it's good to see her racing, just keeping that experience there and making sure that she's in the mix for the points as we head into Rio.
I've got an interesting question that I've been thinking about while I've been reading it on Twitter. Don't forget, you can tweet at Carly McCulloch, at Ant McCrossan, or at UCI_cycling or _track, as we see Marlies Mekias attacking again. Henrik Lemmer has said to me, what happens here? Lapping the bunch gives you 20 points, but when is a break too big? For example, if 15 riders lap 10 riders, do they still get points or not?
That's a good question.
It's a really good question. Now, the deeming of the points and lapping the field is that you have to lap the biggest group on the track. So in reality, what would happen if 15 riders lap 10 is 10 riders would lose 20.
Yeah, look, I think that in a situation like that, the 15 riders would get the 20 points because they have taken a lap on those other riders, even though the group was actually bigger. They've taken a lap, and those other riders haven't been able to keep up. Although you could also say that those other riders just lose 20 points. So I'm not really sure.
I think the rules generally are that it's the biggest group, but the judges sometimes switch it around. So sometimes on our screen you'll see them lose 20, and sometimes you'll see them gain 20. But either way, it's deemed that you have gained a lap, so you will get an advantage of 20 points either way.
Yes, that's right.
Annette Edmondson now stamping her authority on the front of the race. She's the leader. She is the rider in the driving seat with 32 laps to go. And right now, Laura Trott has to win the next 3 sprints to take the title away from Annette Edmondson, pretty much. And Edmondson, right now, as we head towards the sprint with 30 laps to go, is about to take 5 points, and this is going to put her out of reach unless someone takes a lap. Annette Edmondson now goes to 1:86. Tian took 3, Sarah Hammer took 2, Raquel Sheath took 1, and that means that Annette Edmondson looks like she's heading towards a world title and another world title for Australia. But the race is not over yet. Still 20 points, and a lap advantage would give Laura Trott or Kirsten Wield the victory. They're the 2 riders who could overtake Annette Edmondson, but it's not looking so likely now. 29 laps to go. Raquel Sheath on the front of this little duo. Sarah Hammer in 2nd place. There's confirmation on the screen of the point standings. Annette Edmondson 1:86, Laura Trott 1:70, Kirsten Wield 1:68. Mekias looked dangerous for a little while, but so far the 3 medals are going to Australia, Great Britain and to the Netherlands, as Raquel Sheath and Sarah Hammer try now to take a lap on the rest of the field.
Yeah, look, I think what you're going to see happen in these last 27 laps is Wield marking De Hoor and Trott probably marking Edmondson, and Edmondson just really has to stay out of trouble, just control the race from the front and make sure nothing goes away, especially those other 3. And I think we might see another rainbow jersey go to Australia. Which I'm not complaining about.
You're not complaining about that at all, are you?
No.
Australian fans out there, I think your raft of medals in this championship has been so impressive. It started immediately the way that the team has been riding, and now the morale is just notching up all the time. And Annette Edmondson probably being carried along by her form from the team pursuit, but also, I guess, just every day you're getting medals.
Yeah, definitely. It's always so fantastic to see a teammate do well, and I think those 4 girls in the team's pursuit team, as we see that Sarah Hammer and Raquel Sheath are almost about to get a lap here. If they can just hang on a little bit.
This is looking impressive from these 2 riders. Raquel Sheath about to close the gap on the field. Sarah Hammer working well. This will move Sarah Hammer up to 1:26, so she will be 7th overall in this Omnium competition. They do take the lap. 23 laps to go, coming up 22 laps to go, and another 2 riders take 20 points for gaining a lap on the rest of the field. Confirmation then on the screen. Raquel Sheath takes 20, Sarah Hammer does as well, but the top 3 remain the same. Annette Edmondson of Australia, Laura Trott of Great Britain, Kirsten Wield of the Netherlands, and now we come up to the sprint with 20 laps to go. This should be an interesting one. Annette Edmondson, you can sense, she can just tell that this victory is so close, and she goes to the front yet again. If she scores points this time, then this world title is going to go to Australia. The rider from Australia, Annette Edmondson, scores another 5. Kirsten Wield was close to her. I'm pretty sure she got the 5 points there. We'll just get confirmation on our screen. Annette Edmondson has ridden a fantastic round of 6 races. And I think she is heading now to the victory in this World Championship. We're just waiting for it to be confirmed on our screen as another big attack goes. And it's Amelie de Theriksen, confirmation there. Sprint number 8, Annette Edmondson took 5, Laura Trott took 3, Kirsten Wield in the orange took 2, and Julian Dora took 1, which leaves the standings looking like there had to be a lap taken for the victory to not go to Edmondson. 191 to Edmondson, 173 to Trott, 170 to Wield, and Julian Dora can still take away that bronze medal, as we see 3 riders going on the attack, including Anna Kanawa, Amelie de Theriksen, and the rider from Russia who's in the group, Tamara Balabalina. The race coming all back together again. 17 laps to go. Australia in the driving seat. Laura Trott, Kirsten Wild in silver and bronze. But, you know, I think we've seen such a fantastic Omnium over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it certainly has been fantastic. You know, I think Nettie's really ridden into her legs. I think she was hurting a little bit yesterday, so it's good to see her actually looking very good out there today.
Yep, she looks like she's recovered very, very well indeed. And I think, you know, you've talked about your support crew. The masseurs must have worked really hard last night to get those legs feeling like they've got some life back in them.
Yeah, and we've also got these special things called recovery boots that work like compression, which we also use as well when the masseuses are, you know, maybe busy with other riders. So, you know, we've got lots of different ways to make sure that we're recovered and ready to go for the next day. Even ice baths we've got set up at home as well. So,
really?
Yes, unfortunately.
What does a compression boot do?
So it just basically is this boot that goes around your whole legs from your foot to the top of your quad, and air just gets pumped into those boots, and it just acts like almost like skins, like the compression tights, but you can take them on and off easily.
So it just helps with the circulation and gets the muscles put back together.
Yeah, it's like a massage without having someone to actually do it for you. So yeah, as I said, it gives the soigneurs and the masseuses just a little bit of a break.
So 4 riders now clear with 12 laps remaining. And we are seeing this rider from Lithuania trying to go across to the leaders, Ozrin Trabaita. But at the front now with 1 lap to go to the next sprint. Ola Beria on her wheel is the rider from Belarus, who is trying to stay in that group and get some more points, as we see them go round into the final couple of turns. So it looks like it's Ola Beria, the bronze medalist in 2010, who's being challenged there for the actual points, but Ola Beria wearing number 20, Sharakova in a photograph. I think Ola Beria took it. Caroline Ryan of Ireland took some more points. And they're trying to now take a lap on the rest of the field, which would put Ola Beria on 1:44. The yellow flag being shown here, which is a warning, and that's for Laura Trott of Great Britain.
I wonder what that was for. I didn't see her do anything, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, the judges always keeping an eye out for any infringements, and if you get 2 warnings, you're out of the race.
So it's almost like a sprint rule. Yeah.
So Laura Trott being shown the yellow flag, the warning. Caroline Ryan still leading this group of Sharakova, also Laurie Burton and Ola Beria in the group. But the standings remain the same. Annette Edmondson leads with 1 sprint to go. 191 to 173 to 170. And it looks like the medals are going to Australia, Great Britain and the Netherlands. Mekias down there in 5th place, Sarah Hammer as well. And now the attack at the front from Frapporti, who's trying to go clear. What must Annette Edmondson be feeling right now?
I think she probably just wants the race to be done without anything happening. So she's, as you can see, she's just following Laura Trott there and Kirsten Wild, because they're the two who are, you know, if they were to decide in 5 laps that they could try and take a lap, that she'd have to follow them. And we can see Trott just following Wild closely as well, because if Trott could win this last sprint and Wild didn't get any points, she'd move up into into 2nd place. So
this is critical, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like the brakes are starting to fall apart there out the front. So it's going to be interesting to see what the bunch does as we come up to 4 laps to go now.
Yeah, Laura Trott doesn't want this breakaway to come back. She's quite happy that it's up there. The other riders do want it to come back. Kirsten Wild, if she gets 5 points, will be the silver medalist. Laura Trott would have to score some points. And Jolien Dora now is trying to move up, but she would only be on 169 compared to Kirsten Wild. Laurie Burton on the front of the race. 4 laps to go. Caroline Ryan on her wheel. Behind them, Mekias is the leader of the peloton with Amelie de Theriksen, Jolien Dora, Kirsten Wild. Laura Trott sits on the wheel of Kirsten Wild. She knows that she cannot let Kirsten Wild get the 5 points And in fact, she can't let her get 3 either, because then it'll go to count back for the medals. Caroline Ryan and Laurie Burton now about to be caught by the peloton, which they are. So this is absolutely critical for the medals. Annette Edmondson will be the world champion. Behind her, the medals to be decided between Laura Trott and Kirsten Wild. There are 5 points for the winner. Laura Trott has to finish on the wheel of Kirsten Wild to be the silver medalist. They're going around the track now with Kirsten Wild leading out. Laura Trott on her wheel. Jolien Dora also there. Laura Trott's trying to go around the outside. Kirsten Wild takes 5 points, which will move her on to 175. Laura Trott will be on 176. But the world champion in the Omnium is Annette Edmondson of Australia. She's punching the air. She is absolutely ecstatic with the victory. She's ridden an exemplary Omnium competition. The rainbow bands go to Australia, and Annette Edmondson is the world champion here on the boards in Paris. Laura Trott is the silver medalist, and Kirsten Wild the bronze medalist in 6 rounds of thrilling racing. And what an enticing time we have had here in the Paris Velodrome. But this rider here on your screens, all smiles, Nettie Edmondson, world champion of the Omnium.
Yeah, look, I know that she's going to be absolutely ecstatic with that. As I said before, she wasn't even sure she was going to start this event, and she's come out and she's become world champion. So that's just a fairy tale story, really. And the women's endurance team in Australia have just absolutely cleaned up here. They've done really, really well. They're all world champions, every single one of them.
Every single one of the women's endurance team in Australia, world champions having come here. Annette Edmondson, world champion in the team pursuit, world champion in the Omnium. Amy Cure, world champion in the team pursuit. Rebecca Wysack, world champion of the individual pursuit. And the rest of the squad have all got rainbow jerseys and all go home with gold medals. Annette Edmondson, confirmation there as she rides around with the Australian flag. Absolutely stunning for her as a rider.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that her parents back at home are going to be cheering. Her brother Alex is here as well. So fantastic for their family as well. So it's just really great to see. And I know the coaches over there, Gary Sutton, Matt Gilmore, will be really pleased for her. She's been chasing this one for quite some time now. And, you know, that's really promising looking heading into Rio.
It is. Ashley Akudinoff, of course, also gold medalist, and Melissa Hoskin as well. Those riders all now world champions after this racing. What a great final points race. It was intrigue all the way through. But Annette Edmondson, she rode a great race. She just rode in the peloton. She waited until she felt good, and then she went for the points when she needed them. Congratulations from Raquel Sheath. A popular winner, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Nettie's not disliked at all in the peloton. I think everybody gets along with her. She's always got a smile on her face. She's always gracious in defeat and in victory as well. And you know, I don't think we'll be. I think she's quite a talker, so I don't think she'll be shutting up very much tonight.
I think you all might have quite a decent night.
Yeah, I think that we've planned a dinner back at the hotel as a team, so we're really looking forward to that. And of course, celebrating with family and friends when we get home.
Fantastic. There she is, the world champion of the Omnium, Annette Edmondson.
Yeah, as you can see, she loves to have her photo taken.
She just said, "Can I have a photo, please?"
And that's, of course, Matt Gilmore, who's been her coach for quite some time now. He's our bunch race coach, so he's done a fantastic job with all our bunch race riders here this week.
Well, Matt Gilmore, of course, was, I'm right in saying, has been a medalist in the World Championships previously too. Yeah,
and also Olympic Games as well. So he is from Australia, he rode for Belgium. So we've poached him back, I guess you could say. So he's definitely been a great asset for our team.
Certainly has. Well, Annette Edmondson celebrating all around the track. There she is. The flags are raised. Job done. 6 rounds of racing.
That's our swan year there. She's the one who looks after our legs and makes sure that we're ready to go.
Yeah, she's always in the track centre looking after you all, isn't she?
Yes, good old Birdie May. She's always there. I was thinking, I wonder what Laura Trott got the warning for. It'd be interesting to see
Yeah,
that.
it hasn't come up on our screen. We just know she has. She's got a yellow flag next to her. But the final classification of the women's Omnium, Annette Edmondson wins with 192 points, Laura Trott with 176, and Kirsten Wild with 175. There's the run-through of the top 7 riders, and here we are with the run-through to the top 14. Led there in 8th place by Sarah Hammer, Anna Knauer in 11th place. Amelie de Eriksson, fantastic performance from her, the youngest rider in the field, and down to the top 20 as we see the rider from Hong Kong, China,